Now, 3 reasons why most rappers won't make it. Hey, what's good? This is BlackySpeakz. So, this right here is a different kind of video. I actually collaborated with another friend of mine here on YouTube. His name is Brandman Sean. And Brandman Sean basically helps upcoming rappers and upcoming singers to create their own brand and strengthen their own brand as an artist. But in this video right here, we talk about why most rappers won't make it today. And we had a really great discussion in this one. But the audio quality of my voice is not so high quality since we had some audio issues, but the overall discussion is definitely worth listening to. So if you want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know, but I'll catch you at the end of this video. Peace.
Alright, what's good? This is BlackySpeakz, and today I have a different kind of video, and I have a special guest here with me. His name is Brandman Sean, and today we're going to talk about the top 3 reasons as to why most rappers won't make it today. So Brandman Sean, do you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yo, everybody, what's up, man? Yeah, I go by Brandman Sean, as Blacky said. My specialty is really music marketing and branding, but I'm just a fan of this hip-hop stuff and just music, just like everybody else. So I'm excited to get this conversation started because there's a lot of reasons these rappers are really not winning out here, and a lot of times it's not the people, it's them.
Completely agree. So if you're an artist and you're just curious, or if you're just curious about how the music industry works, then Brandman Sean is definitely your man. Let's get this going, man. I thought we could start with the first point about the salty rappers thing. You want to talk about that, Brandman Sean?
I mean, everybody knows a rapper that's salty, right? You know, they've been grinding for however long they feel they've been grinding. Some of them have only been grinding for about like 2 years, 2 months, but they're salty, feeling like somebody else shouldn't be hot. I'm better than them. But nobody really cares, and they have to realize that nobody really cares. You have to figure out how to get in front of people. If you can't get in front of people and make them love you, maybe your music sucks and you aren't actually better than people. Or, you know, maybe you're just turning people off with your attitude.
Completely agree. I mean, at the end of the day, man, people don't want that negative vibe. You know, when people go to music, they go to music for, you know, to escape their own life and their own problems. So when you have that negative vibe, people are going to get turned off, man. So that's how I see it. And I completely agree with you on that point.
Hey, man, like, my biggest thing is, like, a lot of times if you're talking about, oh man, F Lil Yachty's horrible music, and you're a super J. Cole rapper, 9 times out of 10, those are 2 completely different fans, at least as far as your core fan base. It's not like Lil Yachty is your competition and he's taken away from you. There's so many people and so many networks and ways to get out and build your own niche in the world these days. There's no excuse to not be winning just because you feel like somebody else is winning. Even if they're the same style, it doesn't make sense that some rappers complain.
So true. It doesn't affect it doesn't affect your grind, so to speak.
No, man, not at all. Like, I mean, I know we've talked about Wale before.
Yeah.
Wale is obviously, he's winning more than a lot of these like super low, not underground salty rappers, but he's still salty. And like you said, that's what's turning people off. It's like, dude, you're winning. You're like a millionaire right now. And
right. And he's been along for, such a long time too, right?
Yeah, exactly. And every time we see you, you're up there like looking like some kind of hacker in a hoodie, just, bent over talking about, hey, man, I should be better and nobody really respects me, yada, 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 J. Cole, Kendrick, I should be in the same conversation. Look, dude, there's a reason. Like, we start to know more of your bars from your complaining than bars from your actual songs these days.
Right, and I think you can learn from Wale because, I mean, look at Wale. He's in a great position. People artists who are not on that position are looking at Wale like, oh, I wish I could be there. I wish I could be on Everyday Struggle with Academics and Joe Budden.
Exactly, man.
Try to get my music out there. But, obviously Wale is not seeing what he has.
Yeah, I think he's growing because I think he's starting to hear it more from people. And I'm a super Wale fan, too. So the fact that I get turned off by Wale is just opposite of what should be happening. And to think if you're somebody who hasn't even gotten that level of success yet, you can only imagine how that's amplified, where people really aren't checking for you and all they hear is you complaining, I can't get on the radio. I think people's default is I'm the shit and people don't fuck with me because they don't know any better, as opposed to kind of self-analyzing, am I the shit? And 2,
I mean, I think that I'm sorry for
no, you're good,
interrupting you, but I was thinking about I think that I'm the shit, mentality is good as long as you're humble about it, as long as you're not, giving off that negative vibe to the world.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, man. And you got to realize, even if you are the best in the world, you can't just put yourself out there and feel like the world's going to come to you. you have to figure out how to market and brand yourself and that's why I'm so passionate about marketing and branding. Get yourself out there in front of people, because if they don't know you exist, then how would they even like you? If you have a unique brand, how would they even know your brand is unique if they don't know who you are? You have to understand and know how to market and brand yourself and get yourself out there. It's just like, because we're competing for attention these days. There's so many artists out there. We already have our favorite artists. Then we got school, or we got work, and we got girlfriends, we got parents, we got so many things other than listening to this new dude.
There's a lot of like distractions, apart from the music. So I completely agree with you, man. I think people should really think about that, not, giving off that negative vibe and being negative about, having a negative outlook, so to speak. I think it's really important to not have that outlook on life and on music.
It's just a thing. It's annoying. It's not going to help anybody, man. Just being salty. Negative energy, it is what it is, man.
So, salty rappers, we know that you should not be a salty rapper, and it's a bad thing. And it's a toxic thing, man, most of all. So, let's move on to the next point, which is chasing waves. What do you have to say about that, Brandman Sean?
Dude, so it's twofold these days, right? You have the fact that, all right, if you're chasing a wave, you got to think about the fact that somebody's already out there doing this sound and they're on this wave. If you're chasing that wave, by the time you catch up, they're already around the corner and people are already moving on to the next thing. And things move so fast these days, you might be able to catch the sound of, you might be the second up, right? If Young Thug comes out, then you might be able to be the next person with a kind of Young Thug sound if you kind of can twist it and become unique. But a lot of these people are just so much straight up copying sounds and not doing anything unique themselves. Like you can't expect yourself to become huge or like really make an impact and get your own position in the game doing that.
Right, and people are going to recognize it. People are going to look at you and see that you're trying to do what the next man is doing, so you're not going to be bringing anything new to the table.
Like, yeah, he made waves just because, he already had a following as a comedian, and then it was just that whole beef situation. Beef always kind of brings things more attention, but there was nobody really legitimately following him as a rapper and having a strong fan base. I'm not saying nobody liked him,
I thought it was like a meme and it was a joke, but then,
exactly.
Weeks kept on going by, and then like he was kind of playing that 22 Savage character, and then I realized that the guy's completely serious,
Yeah, he said it was a joke, and then it went on once he realized he was getting traction. He was like, oh, snap, I need to take advantage of this, and he became serious about it. But there's a lot of people, they start off, and it's not even a joke. Like, I was at an event last night, so we threw this huge festival, and I was outside, and I was listening. I could have sworn Ugly God was in the building. Like, my friend was like, yo, is that Ugly God? And I was like, nah, dude sounds like him. But then it kept going, and it literally, you almost would have thought, we knew that there was no way in hell Ugly God was there. But, but if we were somebody where else, we would have thought that maybe that was Ugly God. And then there was another dude that sounded just like T.I. And I'm like, it's 2017. You up there copying T.I.'s exact sound, his voice and everything. But no one's going to take that seriously, like, at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. I completely agree with you. Think about it. Like, because one man, like, for example, Lil Uzi Vert, his sound is really popping right now, you know? Yep. People like that melodic, autotune infused, type of music. Yep. And, Lil Uzi Vert is rocking it. He's popping with it. But just because Uzi is doing that doesn't mean that just because you take the style doesn't mean that people are going to tune into you, because people are going to recognize that what you're doing is not unique. Someone else is already doing it.
Exactly, man. Like, it just is what it is. There's no problem with having an inspiration and using a format to be like, hey, I'm inspired by this, or I want to use a sound that people are already familiar with. That works. That's cool. But kind of like Lil Uzi Vert said, he basically took a lot of Young Thug sound or just had that inspiration. I think it was another person, I can't remember, but he like build off of that. And,
I agree. Completely agree.
Yeah. So if you build off of that, that's completely different, because everybody's inspired by somebody. Nobody just wakes up and creates something. But so he still has something unique that he came out. Young Thug obviously has some essence of some Future. They here in Atlanta they compete and they go back and forth. But they build their own unique sounds outside of that. So even Designer is building a little bit out. He's getting less futurist, or at least having his own unique elements outside of Future as he goes on.
Yeah, like, do you remember how when Designer came out, people were saying like, oh, Future 2.0?
Yeah.
And then as Designer was going to interviews, uploading these crazy Snapchats of himself, people realized that this guy is not Future. This guy is Designer.
no, this guy is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy, and he's kind of like unique in his own style.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
obviously not trying to copy Future.
Nah, yeah, he's just definitely, maybe too many Percocets in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, completely agree, man. So now we know that chasing waves is not gonna work out for you as a rapper, and I wanted to move on to the next point, which is no team. What do you have to say about that, Brandman Sean?
My thing is, you can't do it without a team. Well, I understand artists feeling like they can do it all alone, but the thing is, being in the industry and involved in the industry, I know that everybody has a team that's successful. It's just a fact, right? But a part of the job of people behind the scenes is to make the other person in front of the scenes look like a superpower. So we feel like they're doing it alone. Especially these days where people don't even like to claim the labels anymore, and people act like they don't have labels.
All right.
All this stuff looks like they're doing it alone, and they're superhuman, they're so cool, but it's just not the truth. You need a team, because there's no way, even if you can blow up like ugly guy relatively alone, you're not going to be able to capitalize and really start getting tours and things like that without having a team, because you can't focus on all that at once. It just is what it is.
All right, and I'm thinking like, you can't be a one-man army. There's so much to the music. Like, you have to do a lot of things, so if you say that you're gonna be this one-man army guy that does everything solo, you have to have people in different positions to help you, so you can, focus on the art, so you can focus on the music.
And that goes for you too, Russ. Mixing, mastering, rapping, doing so many things before. Even Russ, people have to realize, has people to help him, right? I mean, Russ is amazing, and I know he's super confident, cocky, and all that stuff. Well, a lot of people call him cocky, but he had a lady by the name of Cara Lewis, I always mess her name up, but she's basically like one of the most powerful people in music. And the way I remember this is, I saw Russ before he was blown. He blew up. He was performing here in Atlanta, and after his performance, I remember even talking to him for a little bit, and he told me he had some stuff online, and he told me he had like a tour. He had a lot of people in Paris specifically. That's what he said, Paris, that liked him. He was going to be touring. And I'm like, nobody knows you here in Atlanta, and everybody I'm listening to or I talk to on the scene, none of them are definitely touring overseas. And I was wondering how this happened. Now, I don't know if he started to get an online fan base over there first and then they helped him tour, or they started the tour over there for whatever reason strategically and then built a fan base. But the biggest point is, Cara Lewis, she was Eminem's booking manager, I believe, and I'm talking about all the way back to like Rakim and people like that. She's literally one of the most powerful people in music, and I know she's played an instrumental part of, getting him out there, because I mean, she's just dope. Like, she just seriously is a dope person in the game and has a lot of power. And I'm sure if someone asked him directly, he would mention it himself. But you can't do it alone. That's really just the point. Everybody needs somebody, as corny as it sounds.
Completely agree, man. I mean, you can't be a one-man army. You gotta have people in different positions to help you, so you can focus on, so you can put all the energy you have on the music and on the art,
Yeah, people a lot of times don't realize that there's so much work going on that you probably don't know what's is happening.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's highlights that we see, as the consumers, right?
Exactly, man. And then the era of pretending like you're independent when you aren't necessarily independent, it just gets amplified.
Do you know who I'm thinking about right now when you say that?
Who's that?
As the rapper who supposedly is independent. I mean, people look at Chance and think that he doesn't get help just because he is, independent. But I think that could be really dangerous for upcoming artists. But what do you think about that?
Well, see, Chance is an interesting scenario. Maybe he might be independent as far as some kind of loophole, whatever. Because, hey, what does independent really mean these days? But the biggest thing is, Chance definitely has a lot of help. He has great connections. I don't know who those connections are, you know what I mean? But he has those connections. You've never seen an artist just go from unknown to being able to shake hands and take pictures with Beyonce and Jay-Z specifically. Like, those, you haven't seen that in that short period of time ever. There's still artists who've been in the game forever who you don't see around them. You know what I mean? So, but you will have help even if you're independent. The danger really comes from artists being inspired by it is great, but when they hit that ceiling and they don't know what else they can do, and they feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I'm not good, when they're not realizing that, no, there's Probably because you don't have any help and you need to get some connections into the game, and maybe not like super like political connections, but just somebody who can put effort and make things happen, that's savvy enough to just use online to then be able to leverage and make you go, viral into the world.
Very true. I mean, you don't have to be scared to ask, for help or feel like you need help, because at the end of the day, you're an artist, you make music, and of course, you're going to need help from different positions. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, and I know some artists, they aren't necessarily scared to ask for help. They just don't know how, or just how to build a team, period. There's a channel just about team building. And a lot of that advice, if artists, you guys should try to look that up. Maybe Phase 6 is the channel name or something like that. But team building is so important. I can't stress it enough, because I've done some pretty nice things by myself, but then realized when I got teams, I did way more with way less effort. Like barely, I almost killed myself basically doing shit by myself sometimes when I didn't necessarily have to.
So, Brandman Sean, man, this was a really great conversation to have with you, because I like this, the different perspectives that you have, since you work with actually building other artist brands. But do you want to say anything before we end this video?
No, man. I mean, nothing much, but if you're really interested in really getting the inner workings of a lot of the artists and how they're marketing and branding in the industry, if you're aspiring to be in the industry as an artist, manager, anything like that, definitely check out Brandman Sean on YouTube. And I don't know, if you're just interested in the hip-hop conversation about these kind of artists, check me out as well, because you might find something interesting. If not, you could always go back to Blacky's channel, because his shit is great. Of course, I love your stuff, Blackie. I'm a fan just like everybody else here.
Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate this conversation. And this conversation was dope. Maybe we'll do it, some more in the future if people like it. So let me know in the comment section below if you did actually like this video. And peace.
So that was the end of the video. Definitely let me know what you thought about this video in the comment section below. And check out Brandman Sean's channel. This guy really has some great stuff over there. The link to his channel is in the description. And tell me your thoughts about this topic. Why do you personally think most rappers won't make it today? So let's have a discussion about this in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This channel is all about bringing together people like you who enjoy music and start a discussion on different topics like this. And of course, like the video if you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at BlackySpeakz, and I'm out.